2020 has been a terrible release for feature films. Quiet Place 2, Spiral, just to name a few, but at least I've still got Halloween Kills. Okay, Candyman. Okay, Black Widow. Oh, come on! All I want is fun characters, a fun story, and a fun... Well, it looks like it's time to drive to this review. Oh, come on! Hello everybody and welcome to Amphlett Reviews. 2020 has been an absolute roller coaster of a year, absolutely insane. It's been very challenging, very emotional, lots going on. COVID-19 has affected everybody around the world in terms of our business, in terms of our way of life, changing our perspective on how we see everything, how we connect with each other, our safety regards. It is insane how much it affected and changed the entire world in terms of every sort of kind of industry possible, and it is a continuous nasty threat that we have to conquer and we have to fight against, and I think everyone is doing the best they absolutely can under the circumstances. Cinemas have been heavily affected by this, of course, and it's interesting to see there's kind of like guidelines and kind of how cinemas have changed. When it comes to the big companies like Warner Brothers and Disney, they want to make a profit on their movies, and it's interesting to see over the past couple of months how VOD, streaming services, things on Disney Plus, how this all affected in terms of our kind of making profits on movies, and they are going to delay it until next year, the end of next year, the year after if they need to. It's been a really strange year to see how these kind of big movies have been affected, and it's come to the point almost into the year now where most of the films we should have seen are not available. It's crazy, and still more today are again delayed. But it gives you an opportunity to see films you wouldn't usually see. Jackie Chan has been one of those for me over the past couple of months. Been doing a giant marathon on kind of Hong Kong cinema, martial arts films, seeing crazy stunts, crazy performances, comedies, films I wouldn't usually seen, and it's been a great blast watching them. I'm talking about Drive 1997, the most kick-ass 90s ultra cheese American-made Hong Kong inspired film I've seen in a long time, and this film delivers.
Drive. This is the original Five Fingers of Death.
Drive sets out to do one thing only: entertain you, and that it definitely does. This is a very 90s movie in terms of its kind of score, from the opening credits alone, from that crazy score that I used in my intro. If you know exactly what kind of film you're going to get into, this is a very quite low-made, cheap film that was done kind of like a straight to VHS, straight to DVD type of budget movie, and the performances, the action, the kung fu is what sells the film, is what drives the film, and they do such a fantastic job of delivering just a really fun hour and 40-minute movie based on that. The plot is very thin. You know, you're not watching these movies for like this grand, big, epic story. You know, there's other movies for that, but what this film sets out to do is give you like a Hong Kong inspired movie, but in American-made form. You know, going to Jackie Chan's kind of improvisational, kind of martial arts. There's definitely a lot in there. It's crouching like a hidden dragon in terms of his backflips, and they had limited time to rehearse, limited time to actually create these sequences. And a lot of the times they actually would get hurt on set, and they'd be bouncing between different takes, different kind of like sequences. They'll be filming 1 minute in the hotel, 1 minute back at the start of the film. All the action sequences in the film have a very good sense of escalation, from the very first kind of shipyard, you know, they have the hangar, to the kind of desert bit, to the hotel, to the final fight. It has a good sense of build-up, and that's one thing I really do appreciate, is you know, adding more to the fight, adding more to the sequences, and changing it up in terms of, you know, whether it's actual kung fu, kind of martial arts, whether it's gunplay, whether it's explosions. Our main action lead for this film is Mark Dicasco. If I said his name correctly, I do apologise. You may have seen him in the recent John Wick 3, playing Zero, a really fantastic villain for John Wick, and I've kind of recently discovered some of his older movies, like Crying Freeman is on my watch list for sure. Drive is something I recently discovered based on his talkings with Scott Ankins, who has done a recent YouTube series talking about the art of action, kind of like showing kind of and highlighting action stars of the 80s, 90s, and kind of deep diving into their films. And I'll put a link in the description below for that. This is how I kind of found the film. I saw some clips, I was interested, I loved his passion, I watched the film, I loved it, and I cannot wait to watch more of his films. Which really works for his partner in crime, Kitty Hartzman, which I've never seen him before in anything. Apparently he's in a lot of TV shows and a couple of various movies, but I've never seen this actor before. And the duo between these two characters are really fantastic. The chemistry they have is kind of like that kind of very awkward situational humour. It's something doesn't quite work, but something does at the same time, and the film doesn't mess around him in terms of its pacing. He knows the kind of jokes he wants to say, it kind of knows the quips, and there's definitely a sense of improvisational in terms of like the back and forth, and it worked really well. The characters bounce off each other quite well, despite kind of not knowing each other in the first part of the movie, and yet they're in these crazy situations, and it's wonderful. And on top of this kind of rush hour, kind of Leap Up and Belly's cop kind of dynamic between these two characters, they come across a hotel which features a very young actress called Brittany Murphy. She's absolutely fantastic in the film. This unexpected, kooky sort of character, very Harley Quinn-like, and she brings so much energy to the role. This kind of really awkward tension between some of the characters, and you don't know where this is going. You know, some of the things that she does and says or thinks, can't quite understand who this character is and why she's so weird and kooky and a bit unbalanced in a weird way, and she adds a really good flavour to the film. And so my final vote for Drive 127 is a 3.5 out of 5. This is just a really fun, lightning in a bottle experience, just really kick-ass martial arts. They really sell the film. That is the highlight of the film. It has surprising this kind of buddy cop dynamic with a third party from Brittany Murphy, which adds a really good dynamic in the works. It has a good sense of escalation in terms of action sequences. The story is paper thin. It doesn't really matter too much. It gets in a very specific direction towards the end, if you know anything about the film. It's fine, it's good. It kind of works to its charm. It knows exactly what it's trying to be. I think the film definitely was trying to set up another sequel, but obviously never happened. You know, I can definitely see this getting an 88 film release, like a brand new cover to kind of sell the film properly, brand new 4K scan, lots of extras. Doesn't have any of that kind of 5-star treatment. The DVD does feature the director's cut, which is an extra 16 minutes. Luckily, if you are in the UK, Amazon Prime does feature that director's cut on there, so it's a good way of watching it. It kind of removes this kind of subplot and this kind of like, you know, Pacific type action sequences, and the score's a little different compared to the theatrical version, which I have not seen, but there is available DVD. Unfortunately, no Blu-ray for the time being. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you guys get a bit more awareness of this film. Go and watch it for free right now on Amazon Prime. It's free to watch, going on the DVD.
Thanks guys for watching. This is Amphlett Reviews, signing out.